Yes,
Will you be
sir.
ready to, or you need a second?
You good?
No problem.
Let me get something. We good to go.
Okay. I want to start with the intro, then I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Ready?
All right. No doubt, no doubt.
Hey, what's shaking party people? It's your man over Mustang coming at you from Aura-Genz, your one-stop shop for all things underground and electrifying in the world of music. Today we're turning up the heat as we dive headfirst into the whirlwind of music, culture, and pure unadulterated creativity. Our special guest isn't just here to drop knowledge, they're here to ignite the scene, showcasing their own artistry and shining a master spotlight on a diverse lineup of underground legends, spanning genres from rock to hip-hop and beyond. Get ready to groove, get ready to move, because we're about to take you on a wild ride through the pulse-pounding beast of black excellence and the raw, unfiltered power of music. So crank up the volume, buckle up, and get ready to rock your world like never before. Go ahead.
All right. Well, my name is rap name out of Deala. Also owner of BlackGodComics. I'm a comic book illustrator, a rap artist, battle rapper, turned podcaster. So,
Oh,
do
shout out to you.
do a bit a lot. Yeah, man. Just dropped the album this year. Dropped my first comic book series that I drew and wrote this year. So yeah, a lot happened this year. So I'm super excited, and I appreciate you having me on. You know what I mean?
No problem. This is what we do. We showcase talent.
Hell yeah.
And shout out to you. And so you're a podcaster, an author, an artist, and a battle rapper.
Yeah, I did a little bit a lot. Yeah, I did a little bit a lot, man.
Okay, shout out to you.
Yeah. Did a little bit a lot.
So starting off with podcast, you mind telling us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Well, first it was an opportunity through this not True Dream Radio, but it was like a Fresh Start radio thing in Charlotte, and they were like trying to get a bunch of people radio shows, and I did it for like a month, but they wanted me to pay to keep doing it, so I just started doing it on my own, and it was originally called The Gray Area. So I was interviewing like lawyers and like senators, housing developers in like the Hinesville area, the Chamber of Commerce, just giving a spotlight to like businesses and stuff. But then I was into hip hop, so I just started the Nerd Rap podcast, where I just started just talking about hip hop, nerd things, and culture and politics and stuff. Just kind of fusing it all together for real. So along with everything else, that's when I started doing like just doing podcasts and stuff like that.
Shout out to you. And what's the name of the podcast?
Nerd Rap Podcast. You can,
No Rap Pod.
yeah.
And you on YouTube?
Not on YouTube. I'm on streaming sites. It's really audio, so I don't really do like visually. I just do like audio.
Okay.
So yeah, if you drive it, I made it the best. If you're driving in the car heading to work and you want to like hear politics and news, that's the best thing for you.
Okay. Shout out to that. I also recommend using Riverside. At least you'll be able to get it on through another app with Spotify podcast. You would be able to get it through multiple platforms such as Spotify, such as Apple,
Okay.
etc.
Hell
So,
yeah.
and if you don't want to use video, you can use just audio. Even if you have a video of it, like this, if you just decide just to have this as a video, audio, I could just make that happen.
Oh, okay. It's fire.
So I recommend using this app as well.
Bet, definitely. Okay. Hey, we gonna turn up. Man.
No problem. When it comes to you was talking about a bit of your experience with the podcast. How long you been doing it?
I've been doing it for a while, like 5-6 years.
Nice.
But
And you talk about politics and
politics, culture, social political things. It get real heavy. That's why I always try to do like a disconnect. Like I'll do something that's super political, and then I'll do something that's like just super nerd related, like about anime, just to keep it a balance. Just because I know some people get overwhelmed with politics. I don't like to spend everything on politics, but also you can't talk about politics without talking about politics. So
I mean that's the world that we do live in.
yeah, we live in a world where it's ruled by politics, so you need to at least know about them. So I just try to get, for a lot of my homies ain't really political, so I try to just keep them informed as best as they can. So that's why
Hmm.
I try to be a little political. You feel me?
Shout out to them.
I appreciate you, man.
No problem. Um, okay. Shout out to your pocket. So you focused on politics. You also dive into some nerdy things. Uh, when it comes to your podcast, do you have a favorite episode of yours that you've done?
A favorite episode. One of my favorite episodes, I was talking about Eminem, and
Mm,
I was saying how there is a split in the community of how we deal with Eminem, and that was my most popular and most viewed too. But that was my favorite one because it was like I was just asking an honest question. We say someone's a GOAT, but do we attribute that to like the general consensus of the culture or sales? Because no one I
mm.
knew growing up ever was like put on Eminem in the car that I knew. But I also know that his base of fans aren't me or people I grew up with. But
Mm,
they don't engage with anything else in hip hop, just him. So how would they know he's the GOAT if that's the only rapper they listen to? You know what I mean?
mm,
Like now, if you think he's a GOAT because you're a fan of him, I don't have an argument for that because that's your opinion. But
mm,
just if we're fans of the culture, we're fans of the entire culture. We're not fans of just one person. You know what I mean?
mm.
So that was
No,
more
I
like
can understand that.
yeah, like
And and especially if we want to break it down to like what specifically the GOAT status that we talk about. Is it the lyricist? Is it,
yeah.
his career wise or
It's more
mm,
multifaceted. It's not a simple, well, he's the GOAT because he's the GOAT. Because if he doesn't check your boxes for music, then he's not your GOAT.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? So, I like to do that. Like, I don't ever like to give an opinion to people that's like just like gospel. It's always like, hey, this is how I feel. This is why I feel that way. If you disagree, I'm fine because at the end of the day, that's how information is spread healthily when everyone can agree to disagree or, hey, bro, that's not true. Here's the facts, and we don't get butthurt about it. So
okay.
that was my
So
favorite.
my last question on that subject:
Yeah,
how to do it in a healthy way of break it down like a GOAT list,
for hip
like a
hop.
artist. Yeah, what's a
Um,
healthy way to do that?
Well, it's always about what I always say. You got to break it down in like subcategories. Because if I say, "Hey, who's the most popular commercially successful artist?" So now
Mm,
I'm using the rubrics of sales, impact, or cultural zeitgeist. Like we all know this line from this artist. So we're going to compare similar artists who have things that we all, as a general consensus of a culture, agree on. Whether we think they're good or not is irrelevant now. We're talking about this.
mm,
If we're talking about bars, okay, we're going to break down bars, similes, metaphor, wasting time. We're talking about song structure. Like there's a science to all of it. So I always say in categories, like who makes the best this or who does the best that. A GOAT
no.
is just who checks the most boxes. Like he's commercially successful, his bars are legit potent. You know what I mean? Like the culture can agree that he deserves the mention. Then everything else is up for debate at that point. I just think
Okay.
it's a real complicated question because hip hop 50 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
in you hear the "don't push me
what?
because I'm over the edge." You may
Yeah.
not think that's some goat shit, but to them back then,
Mm.
that was some goat shit.
Now I'm glad you brought that up, but we also have to remember if it's only 50 years old when we talk about like uh entertainment that been around for like generations, that's really not that old. That's an uncle.
But that's not like a great grandfather removed from a lifetime ago where like these
Or we talk
traditions
about yeah, or we talk about like blues when that been around like 19 like what?
like you have family members that may have grew up if they're real old like that who didn't grow up with hip hop.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's a new culture. So I think like I stay away from those goat talks for the most part because we don't know who's gonna be a goat. Might be 20 years from now gonna be a rapper to blow every last one of these guys out the water.
Hmm.
We don't know yet, So, but
Shout out to that.
yeah, yeah.
Then bringing on to your next trait, uh, you're author as well. Can you
Yeah.
tell us a bit about
Well, for the comic thing, I've been doing comic books whole life for real, and I've always played around with writing. Like I always wrote my own stories, but I've really just been drawing for other people. But I've always been writing my own stories. Like I got my own comics that are laid out that like 300 pages long, just sitting somewhere, just waiting. This is the
Mm,
first story I'm writing and putting out myself. So showing my homies and my people. It's on my Patreon now. Grimbone. I'm really excited. You feel me? I finally get to flex a muscle I don't really get to flex a lot, which is my storytelling. And not
mm,
me drawing somebody else's shit, but like I'm writing it. So,
mm-hmm,
yeah, the author thing is new, but it's not like it's new to me, just new to the world.
mm-hmm.
So I'm just ready for people to read it because I know people gonna like it. Like
And do you consider more of a comic book?
I do, what I mean. I
Okay.
grew up on manga. Like, I know most of us, we grew up in the 90s or early 2000s. We grew up on anime. So,
Mm,
but, I was a comic book head. So I just wanted to do a fusion of both, like the best of both.
okay.
Like, I love comic books. I was a fan of comic books before manga, but I love manga. So, like, I just fused them shits together. And
Okay. So, oh, go ahead, finish. I didn't mean to cut you.
no, you good, go ahead.
What I was gonna say was, I actually just worked with another comic book artist, black owned as well. You might find him a good connection.
Definitely.
One Nation, is
I,
his mom.
I heard of them. Yeah.
Oh,
Super.
you heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I just worked with him recently, and cool guy. I just read his manga and everything. He's doing a mix between manga and comic books, as well.
It's fire.
So I thought that would be an interesting collaboration between the two.
Oh man, hey, I always say with comic book creators, man, the best strives we make is together because they only see the rich and popular comic books, but it be the indie
Mm-hmm.
creators who really make the scene thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Especially within our community.
yeah, just the entire art community for real. And
Mm-hmm.
so like, I've heard of Sun though. I actually follow him on Instagram. I've heard of
Okay.
one Nation Log. I fuck with them.
Okay. All right. Bet. How about G Factor World?
Haven't heard of them.
Um, Also another comic book. They doing more of I'm not too sure how to explain it, but they got not only he got a comic book series out building up his own universe of like superheroes and villains and stuff like that. Uh, he also building up his own animation, 2D animation at the moment
That's
as
fire.
well.
Oh yeah, that's fire. Yeah, that's and honestly, I'm gonna keep it a band, man. I think most people learn too. You gonna spend $1 million trying to make you a damn live action cinematic universe. You just spend that
Mm-hmm.
money, make you some books on your own, tell your own stories. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I treat it. Just tell your own stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like so.
Especially with
Go.
especially with to add my 2 cents on what you say. When it comes to the way how mainstream media does it, oh yeah, it's gonna run your pockets for no reason. But if you find connect with people that got talent, like you right now, this is a world where we all striving to be independent. We could
Right.
be really coming together on some like bringing it back to like merchant area, where people just bringing their fucking skills and shit just coming break. Like shit, we already gotta work for the rest of our life. Why not work with each other?
You know what I mean? Like it make more sense if I'm a and I try to do that a lot too, man, with comic artists, bro. Like I'm not competing with none of y'all. None of y'all. I'm not competing with none of
Mm-hmm.
y'all. We all trying to do the same thing, bro. If I see your book is fire, I'm gonna share your shit, bro. It's fire. Like
Mm-hmm.
that don't do nothing for me. It's dope. Like I'm not a hater, bro. Like if it's fire as hell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not here to compete with you because all we're trying to do is get people to read our stuff. Like I don't need you to fail for me to succeed. Like
Oh,
we both
thank you.
we both can win. Like I can be winning right next to you. Like and while you're winning, bro, keep winning, bro. Like
Yo,
go for it.
thank you. And I've been asking people this too. It was like, why would I compete to entertain people? Like, why would I compete with you to entertain people?
Like, bro, like they're gonna be in. They want entertainment regardless. Like, if they got your book, it's fire. Hey, bro, while you waiting on your book, mine's out. They'll buy my shit. We
And
both
you,
getting the same money.
I agree. I agree. So,
Yeah,
that's why I created this platform for where y'all can. So you can basically think of us as Lincoln, but for talent. Uh, so whatever you're looking for, if it's artists, entertainers, people that we got some people that doing their own TV show on Tubi. I'm not sure you heard that platform.
Tubi, yeah.
Um, I have some people that creating their own content, their own films on there. Um, so yeah, I've come across a lot of talent. So why are y'all looking to expand or connect? You're welcome to use our platform.
Well, just let anybody know, I am always down for collaboration. I love working with other people. I like creating shit. If you got a comic book you trying to do, your story wild, on heaven and earth, let's make money together.
Okay.
Man, I'm
Okay.
with that. Yeah.
Hey. All right. Me and you definitely gonna lock in after this show. Uh,
I bet.
uh, bringing this back to you. So we
Okay.
talk a little bit about your podcast. We talk about a little bit about your comic book. Is there anything else you want to dive in before we move into the next subject?
Yeah. Just to give people a tidbit of the series I'm doing with Grimbone. I just wanted to give a manga that like you could read with your kids. Like it's fire. It's gonna have insane fights. It's gonna have an awesome world. I'm trying to make it more comedic,
Mm,
just funny for the whole family. You feel me? If you, and I don't want to spoil nothing about it because that's what the Patreon for. It's like $4 a month. I update it like every month with new issues. So second issue drops
okay.
Halloween. And if you're a fan of Soul Eater, Bleach, Batman the Animated Series, and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. That's the best way to describe Grimbone.
And
Um,
I was also gonna say, just hearing what you were just describing, that sounds like what you've been missing with Saturday Night cartoons. I'm a
yeah, like
'90s baby as well.
I love the Saturday night cartoons. Like we everybody want anime. I remember the Ed, Ed and Eddies and the Grim Adventures, and
Mm,
like those were funny as hell to me as a kid. I'm like, bro, we want these shows to be so serious for these youngins, and or they're so sexually explicit and shit like that. With I wanted something that they can
mm.
read that gives them all that.
Especially,
My
yeah.
fault.
Go, my bad. I
No,
know I
you.
cut you off. What I was saying was, especially when it comes to as a parent, I can understand at the same time I shouldn't have to work, especially when it's coming from mainstream, networks. This is not YouTube. This is not no secondhand, platform. This is coming from like our main source of entertainment, and they push down these agendas and stuff to our kids.
Yeah, bro. Like,
So,
and like, I'm not here for all that. So, like, if I make a story,
mm,
like, yo, the kids get a story. Like, I'm not saying I don't care about showing the real world and real world situations and relationships in life, but like, they don't need to see like 4D triple D titties from a supposed 13-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like I don't. They don't need all that.
mm,
It'd be weird. It'd be a wholesome story, and then I gotta explain to my kid why this random 13-year-old is built like a 36-year-old woman.
mm,
Like it's weird as hell. So like I just wanted to that was my response to that for Grimbone. So
mm.
that's my last thoughts on the comic side. But
Okay, shout out to you. And then you have a Patreon that's dedicated to what do you offer with this Patreon?
oh yeah, with the Patreon, man, it's a bunch of shit because it's a lot of comic books I did for people that didn't come out. So it's pages of stuff that no one will ever see, and where I
Mm,
update my comic before people get physicals. That's where I put out my comic books, and then when I get my physicals, the same people who are part of my Patreon, they get first dibs on the physicals. Because when I do the first 3 issues, I'm gonna release it as a volume physically, so they get the first 3 physically. But if they want to read it, you can just read it on Patreon,
okay.
and it's literally just $4 a month. So I made it
Okay.
dirt cheap for a reason. So
Especially with this economy.
you're right, trying to hit people with $20, $30 a month, like that's a lot. But 4 or 5, four you may not even
Mm,
notice $4 or 5.
mm,
So that's how I wanted it. I wanted it to be affordable for people because I got a job. I'll make money. You can't. I'm not looking to y'all to pay every bill I have. I'm looking to y'all to love my book first.
mm.
So as easy as I can get it to people while also not shortchanging myself because I was gonna put it on these comic sites where a bunch of people could read it, but then I don't get nothing out of that. Just
Mm.
what I mean, they
Are you
can't
talking
buy
about
it.
like what website were you was thinking about putting it on?
They got global comics. I was thinking about doing Amazon to get the physicals too. But I'm waiting until I get a volume's worth, so that's like 4 issues in. I'll be able to get like so people can get a nice thick book.
Mm.
Like I don't want to sell people
No
like
dig.
20 pages for like you know what I mean. Like nah, I want to give people like a nice little volume of shit. So
Mm.
that's what I'm waiting on. But yeah, Grimbone, shaping up to be good. So we should get those
Shout
physicals
out
by
to
the end
that.
of the year.
Shout out to that. And especially as like people that's creating their own content, especially something that's like music, author, etc. When it comes to that,
Right.
you know, we also have to look into like getting our worth, in as well.
Right.
So it's definitely understandable. Shit ain't cheap. Shit is not cheap.
It's being an artist or creator. You get creative. You feel me? Like you find ways to not have to spend as much, of course, because there's always a way around something. But at the end of the day, yeah, man, we got to get something. At least
Mm-hmm.
break even. Like I'm never gonna go to my audience and tax them for my life's expenses. But if I'm like, hey, I'm putting out good work, bro. Just if you want to pay for it, here it is. But I'm not gonna force you. I'm gonna still do it regardless because I
Mm-hmm.
love it. It's still gonna be done. But if you want support, you know what I mean? It's right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely. Okay, shout out to that. So we would get the comic book itself, some behind the scoop, and some other works that you have done that haven't been released,
yes.
other outside
Yeah.
Patreon.
And
Okay.
gonna be some shirts, you know what I mean,
Oh,
merchandise.
you got some merchandise as well.
Yeah. So yeah, we got shit in the
What kind of
stable.
merchandise?
Mainly just t-shirts, cheap t-shirts of art, characters, and I do them by order. So if you want a specific character on the shirt, do the Patreon. Literally just hit me right there at the Patreon. Then you just get a shirt. Um, yes, just Patreon members all get merch.
Okay. All right. Just by subscribing or
Just by
okay.
subscribing. You subscribe, and then I make sure everybody get their t-shirt. And then when I get physicals, everybody gets a physical. It's just I'm working on getting it in good quality, so I got to test out physicals first before I send them. But every
Okay.
patron that I see that's a patron, they automatically get a physical as soon as I get good copies.
Okay. All right. Shout out to that. So you already got like a formula set up to attract and reward people for supporting.
Oh yeah,
Um. mm. So for anybody that's especially nowadays, I see a lot of people that's when anything become mainstream, a lot of people that's not within that community that been built. For example, like when it comes to like entertainment, for people that like kung fu movies,
yeah,
the hardcore fans that grew up with it, they would know how the structure is. They would know like, all right, if I want to be a content creator in this space, I see it from the greats, I see it from the people that inspire me. I know how to move. But when
right,
it becomes mainstream, you got people that come in here and they don't have no influence from the roots. So, for example, when it comes, bring this back to content creators, you got people that's coming in that's treating their fans like a bank account.
right.
hmm So, I thought you brought up a couple good points how to be a good content creator. You shouldn't look at your audience as a bank account, um, but you more should look at them as a community that you building that support. And that's what it sounds like what you got going.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for all the support I get. I get a lot of people who share stuff. Like I've gotten jobs, like comic jobs, because people post my name and be like, "Yo, go this or do that." So, if it wasn't for people support me, I wouldn't even have got half as much as I've done. So, and just salute everybody I work with on comic books. There's a lot of comic books I did that are out yonder on Amazon. Melody Crown with Caleb Lapsley. Um, as well as Jack Heyman. Those are 2 series we have on Amazon, about 6 issues. Each of these, both of those series are the unreleased pages because I have almost like a couple hundred pages done for each of these. They just haven't come out yet.
Nice. And
Yeah.
how many episodes do you have out at the moment?
Currently that's the 3. On top of Grimbone is
Okay.
also Jack Heyman. I have an online store where I sell Melody Crown at payhip.com. I sell Jack Heyman, Melody Crown, and then Jack Heyman issue 0. Basically the first 2 issues of Jack Heyman and another one.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice.
but Amazon as well. If y'all anything else, look on Amazon. You can find Melody Crown and Yonder, issue 1 and 2.
And this, okay, and this will be a full hard copy.
Yeah, you can get it hard copy straight from Amazon as well as online as well.
Okay, nice. Um, any advice to anybody that's uh inspired to become an inspiring like author, especially within the comic slash manga field?
Um, Only advice is just do it. Don't do it when you're confident to do it. You know, take the time to get good. Don't feel like you got to rush because you see other people going forward. Make sure that you're confident in what you're putting out, and make sure you love what you're doing first. Don't do it thinking you're gonna get immediately payout that same year you start. It does not work that way. You gonna give up. But
Mm,
if you do it because you generally want to see how good you can get and you think that you really bring something different and dope, like yeah, like it took me 5 years to get to a point where I could hold a physical of my comic book in my hand. You know what I
mm,
mean? So that's Jack Heyman. So like we it take work, but it's worth it.
mm,
Just don't be a starving artist. Get a job.
mm,
That to get your ass a job. Don't be out here thinking you're gonna make money just doing comic book pages for people and that's it. Get a job.
mm.
Like you
Okay.
you never want to be desperate to get work to keep the food on the table because then you're not taking that time to get better. You're not really cultivating it. You know, you're dependent on it. And you don't want to be dependent on your gift. You want your gift to be something you let grow in the pot, get appropriate sunlight and water. You don't want to be like running this bitch ragged because then you ain't got no energy for your actual stuff you're passionate for. You know? So
Mm,
that's what I say any comic book artist, man. Just get yourself together. It's no rush. Make sure you're straight and then the work gonna flow like water.
okay. And what was the, well, you was talking about a little bit the moment that inspired you to jump into uh creating your own uh comic book and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, what is your goals when it comes to your comic
With my book,
book? Mm,
man, my goal was like, you ever grow up watching Toonami?
mm,
Like you know that feel you got with Toonami where it's like it was just a vibe, like, bro, shit's intense, but shit's happy, but shit's like you really were invested in these characters and stuff. I just want to give my kids that feeling I got when I watched Toonami. Like we locked
mm,
in, like I'm going into a whole different world, and like I like these characters, I'm invested in that. That's my goal with comics. I just want to give people good content. Like I didn't care about being the first black author. I wanted to be, yo, when they read this shit, it's just fire. Like there's nothing, it's just good, and they're entertained by it. They like the characters enough to keep following. You know, my
mm,
goal was just to make something good and show people you don't need gimmicks to make a good comic book. You don't need anything. You don't even need the greatest artwork in the world. Like I have a real simplistic type of style I'm doing with Grimbone. You don't need the greatest artwork to tell a great comic book. You just need to
mm,
make a great story and just tell it to the best of your ability. People will read it, bro. And you know, people think it's hard to get out there, bro. If it's good, it's
mm,
good. It's there's no way to fake. There's no way to fake quality. If it's quality, it's quality.
mm,
I just want to give people quality. I think we get a lot of comic books that are trying to shock value us to death to say, well, hey, they're gonna die this chapter, or you know, like comic books now are just events. It's just a new event. Like every 5 years is an event. You know, the death of the universe, a dark god rise. It's like, bro, just give us good stories, bro. Like I don't care.
I agree.
You know.
Even with like the whole multiverse, I'm like, how you fucking it up? You barely tap into the idea of a multiverse.
Well, even with that, it's like y'all went to the multiverse, but like we didn't even fully see this universe yet.
That too.
Like
That too.
we didn't see the other possibilities of stories. We didn't like. I hate a wasted story. I hate a story with a great world, but you leave all this shit out there. It's like Star Wars movies. Like, bro, I don't
Mm,
care about these random side stories. There's in the books they got 100 years of darkness where the Sith ruled the galaxy. Why ain't we getting a movie of dark Jedi's killing each other?
that's what I'm saying.
But you want me to spend an hour of a guy just driving kids in a spaceship going on wacky adventures? I don't want to see that shit. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and the fans don't want to see that shit. It's not like it's just me. Like the fans don't want to see this. We want the lore explored. And so when I think of a story, I think like a fan. Like, bro, if I'm gonna give y'all a world, y'all want to see this world. Y'all want to know its rules. Y'all want to know how people live, how society. You know what I mean? You want a real thriving fictional world.
Mm.
So
One trope that I hate the most is when I see the villain explain his powers. That shit pisses me off every time.
I hate exposition dialogue. Period. I hate that shit. Like like that's one of the reasons I started doing stories for real. Like it's really my issue with stories is that I gotta start doing something, bro. Because I hate this. Like the story going great, and then he gotta stop and explain it to us. Like, bro, you could have just showed him using it, and we'd have put two and two together. You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
the audience is smart enough, and that's what got me in the reading more like manga and even the comics I read. Like I like the good writers, bro. Don't explain shit to me. You're showing me their powers. Show me their rules through what they're doing. If their power is I can control mass, well, show him controlling mass. Like you don't need to tell me that. Show me.
Mm-hmm.
Show me how it functions. Show me what he can't do and how like that makes it more interesting to me than you just telling me. And it's like, okay, well I know now. And
I agree.
manga does that same shit a lot too, but they gotta stop
Mm-hmm.
and say his power is the face do like, bro, this is lame if you have to stop and tell me. You know what I mean? Like let me
Yeah.
find out how it works. So again, with a lot of like Grimbone is basically that. Like I don't explain anything like that. I show it. Like you see how it works, you see it working function and what they can or can't do. And that's part of the story. They don't know how their powers work either.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
I agree.
learning. You know what I mean? Like you're learning as they're learning. Like, oh, I can do that? Shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you gotta make it exciting for people. And it's just, and I don't care for shit to be explained to me. Like I'll just read about it at that point. Give me the book.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
And I'll also add on, I think that also lose value in like rereading it as well.
yeah,
Like if you're
like
just gonna flat out tell me, I got no reason to look back in this book to look up any other detail. If you're
and
just telling me everything.
especially when I read manga where like I don't know if you ever heard of Hell's Paradise.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like Hell's Paradise is the best example. Like they don't really explain shit to you without showing you. Like
Mm-hmm.
with Tao, like yeah, they gotta tell you what it is, but they show it to you by someone learning how to use it, fighting someone. Like he's like, what the
Mm-hmm.
hell? What you hit me with? Oh, I see it now. Like as he's fighting this guy, he's learning the power system. So we're learning the power system.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like you gotta be the most inventive way to tell the audience, but trust your audience. That's and I think a lot of these authors don't because most of these people aren't really artists. They're just people trying to make a bag.
I agree. Even with like for example, like one anime that I grew up on that I enjoyed, uh Case Closed, Kona.
Yes.
Yeah. As a kid, I was never a fucking detective, but I was so amazed just like watching this kid solving mystery crimes and shit. And you like, oh, this guy killed this person because he actually, scooped the details. He was like, oh, he used this knife and he used it in a creative way to like to get rid of the evidence. Like the one that come to mind, this woman, she poisoned uh I think it was either the coffee or the cake. She poisoned one. I'm gonna say it's the cake. She poisoned the cake, but the antidote was in the coffee. Everybody drank coffee except for the person that she wanted to kill. So
Uh,
so it was just like like stuff like that. Like yo, how did she poison? How this guy got poisoned? And everybody here is fine. Like he must have had something that so just like seeing stories like that when they like really dive into the story, you don't know what the fuck is going on.
yeah.
Speaking of like Hell Paradise, like the whole island. We didn't know what the fuck was on the island. And then they even add on to it, we never really expected that it could go beyond just the island. When they were just trying to leave, and then the
Yeah.
monster was in the ocean and shit, it was like, oh shit, this is why nobody made it.
Yeah. Like, you know, like part of us being in this fictional place is us discovering the world, and in a natural way. Like when you go to a new place, there ain't no random voice overhead that says this is Puerto Rico where slaves used to come before. No, you go there, you talk to people, you see how people are living, you see, you know what I mean, like I'm I love the genre enough to where I've seen enough good examples and bad examples of world building and characters, and I just look to the good examples where they don't have to tell you shit, but you understand everything because they set up their established an episode the right way, where you don't need to explain nothing. Like if you watch Made in the Abyss, they don't have to tell you shit about how these people go down to the abyss and that's their whole economy. They showed you. They showed you how the world is built in 5 seconds, and now you know everything.
I agree.
That's good writing, you know what I mean? And so, like, when I started writing, I'm like, yo, I'm just going to try to tell the audience things without telling them shit. So, in order to do that, I got to write stories and characters around and situations that inform the audience without holding their hand. Like, believe me, this shit, I made it interesting enough to where you're learning about the world as things are happening without me saying anything. Because I shouldn't have to say shit. Because that
I
time you're
agree.
wasting, because the time you're wasting explaining the world and the story, I'm supposed to be getting y'all into the characters. I'm supposed to be liking their personality and their story, what they're focused on. Like in real life, you don't stop and explain your powers to somebody. They know your ass. They've been knew your powers. Yeah. So, but
I agree.
that's my rant, man.
No,
That's
I agree. And I think this is something like, especially for the younger generations, they don't have a good example necessarily, because
right,
all our shit is either got took it down, lost in history, or got rebooted into something that we can't recognize.
right, right.
So I think that's really good, especially for the younger generation, um, especially within our community.
Yeah,
Uh, it's time to, to take our power back and, control the entertainment within our community. Um, so I definitely support the vision that you got. And, I think we got a good head on our shoulder when it comes to like good work, good, quality content.
I definitely appreciate
Um,
that.
and bring us back to your other traits. You was also talking about that you battle rap as well.
Yeah, yeah. I used to battle rap, man. Um, Same thing with music, rapping. Out of depth, looking on for YouTube. I was battling about 5, 6 years. I was battling for a little while.
Mm. And what inspired you to get into battle rap?
Oh man, when I was rapping, I treated rapping like boxing. So I wanted to just be able to say I did anything in battle rap. Well, in rapping, and like the last plateau of hip hop is battle rap.
Mm.
So they had some in Savannah where they were looking for people. I said, shit, I'll do it. I ain't gonna spend no money. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I did my first battle. I choked. It ain't never come out yet. I choked like hell. I got off stage and I spit my round, but my opponent didn't come, so they put the white dude up there. But my whole round was because guys from Philly, so I have all these Black Panther references and shit. I tried to take my round out mid battle, and I found out then I'm not a freestyling ass motherfucker. So I'm like, hey, if 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 my round I'm only spitting what I'm prepared to rap. I don't freestyle in
Mm.
battles. I wrote my round. So after
Mm.
that, of course, I choke in a battle. I want to come back and have a good showing. So then I just kept coming back, and yeah, I came back. I was Slick was cooking shit for a second too. I ain't gonna hold you. Slick was cooking shit. Just it just when you're in battle rap, you realize it's you got to be real with yourself in battle rap. Like I knew where I had to improve at in battle rap. And I wasn't one of those people that you needed to tell me what I did wrong in a battle rap. I know already. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I already know. So like, a lot of my homies actually did pretty good in battle rap. My man's battling Av the end of this month. A lot of my homies in Crucibles. So I was around a lot of real talented people. So I wasn't up here just, rapping amongst birds and whatnot.
Mm.
I was battling amongst monsters. So I had fun in them 6 years, man. It was a fun time.
Are you taking a break or you putting that, behind you?
I threw an event, my last battle, and then it's not that I fell back, it's just life. Like I got kids, you know, so
Mm.
that's what really slowed me down for real. Was I was getting opportunities. I got a lot of opportunities. Then when I Battle first came to Atlanta, I was supposed to be on the first card, but you know, at the time my kids was starting school. I had to get school clothes and shit. And I'm like, man, I'm about to spend money to go to Atlanta. I gotta take care of my kids. So it was really
Mm.
that. It was really my family. So
Yeah,
I
to take responsibility.
yeah, you know, it's not like I wasn't about to go in the red to be in a battle rap event, and I know I got kids. And some of these people, they ain't mind, you know, sleeping on couches and doing that to be. I'm not doing that. I'm not. I don't believe in
Mm.
being a struggling artist. I've never believed in that. Like handle your business. Like this is not going nowhere. So
Mm.
yeah, so I made a promise. I want to go up. I want to step back outside next year and take a battle. But I've been chilling.
Okay. So you still have interest in battle rap?
Yeah, man. Listen, bro,
Oh.
ain't there is not. It's something about shaking a room, like going in there with some good material and knocking a room down. It
Mm.
is it's ecstasy, especially when you know you write good. Like if you somebody like, man, I hope the crowd fuck with me. I wasn't one of those. I'm like, bro, I know the shit, man. I'm gonna get cooking here, bombing this bitch. That was my mentality because I was shaking rooms and shit. So
Mm.
so the next time I come back outside, I say I'm gonna put on a show. Next time I come back outside. I'm gonna
Okay.
smoke somebody. But I love battle rap. I
Whatever
ain't gonna
will
lie.
do it.
Everything else outside of the ring is corny as fuck. But battling ain't nothing like battle rap. It's one of a kind.
Okay. And I'm curious, do you have a favorite battle that you done?
I have a favorite battle that didn't drop and a favorite battle that did drop. My favorite battle that did drop was an AHAT Atlanta. It was against this dude Jay Skills, you from St. Louis. It was a blind event, so meaning we didn't know our opponent before we got there. So you had to write like general rounds for anybody.
Mm.
So he was at the time he was their best guy, and you know of course everybody there they said his name. Oh man, yo Skill, and you know no one really knew me. So when I went up there to battle him, we were the first battle of the night. Man, we were dumping in that bitch. Like it was nonstop punches in that John. But again, I didn't know who I was battling at all.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is the blind material. Man, listen, that was one of the best battles ever, bro. He was cooking, bro, but like my third round, I didn't miss not one round in the third
Mm.
round. Like everything was going. I mean, that was my favorite round, period. Like everything landed. Everything landed hard as hell. I was like, oh yeah, I might be kind of nice.
Okay.
I might be
Okay.
kind of nice, you know what I mean? And the one that didn't drop was this dude named me. And we're like homies now. My man D Show, we battled on A Hat again, and that battle was crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like he was on my ass when we battled, but like again, I felt like I had one of my better performances, but it was some weird shit with that league, and it never dropped. But everybody that was there, pretty much a lot of the people that were there ended up booking battles afterwards. So I was getting booked for some pretty good battles after that. But I wish it would have dropped though. But
Okay.
that's just how it goes. But yeah, man, I had fun with battle.
Okay. Shout out to that moment. And uh, so where could we find these the videos that have been posted?
Oh yeah, just look up Out of Death Deal on YouTube. Um, most if not all my battles will come up. I even made some compilations of my better boss meet battle. But yeah, if you type in Out of Death Deal on YouTube, all my battles will show up.
Okay. And will
Yeah.
this be on your page or
No, they'll be on the Battle
okay.
League's release the battle. But my name kind of unique, so like most of the time it'll show up if you just type it in on the tube. But yeah. And if not, I'll send you a link if you want to check it out.
Okay. All right, shout out to it. Uh and Breakaway give you an update. We actually have some collaborations on and that you might find interest. Uh we already shout out one. Shout out to One Nation. We having a collaboration, continue the work together. Uh, for our other two, shout out to Mason Knee Ladder. I'm not sure you're in the need of a 2D animator, but
Mm.
he work on logos, animation, especially for like music videos, and he does much more around anything that's involved like digital art. Uh, You got somebody that we could recommend?
Definitely,
Uh,
yeah.
okay. And then our last collaboration, shout out to Jet Production. They make short action films. So they're looking to collaborate with artists for like not just soundtracks, but even help y'all create action music videos as well.
Yeah, hell yeah, shit, man. Hey,
Okay.
I'm with this. I'm with it all.
Okay. That's what we do, like I said. So I'm gonna send you their information after this podcast.
My God, I appreciate that.
No problem. Bringing this to your music. I'm gonna go
Okay.
listen to your music on iTunes. Uh, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have about 14 songs out at the moment.
Yeah, I put out a I just put out a John, and I got some singles I put out. But yeah, I just put out an album called AKM. It's a series I had. It's ass kicking music, but it called
Mm,
it AKM Volume 4 Requiem. Um, it mattered a lot because this is like the first one where I'm using all original beats. You know what I mean? I put in just basically put out my own project on my own because I'm part of a group, Underground Intensity. Salute to my brother, Blacksmith Sundays, and you know my sister Mystery. Um, and we dropped the album a few years ago, so this was my first real solo on my own. So
mm.
yeah, so I was really excited for that. But yeah, I got a few songs on iTunes, mainly the album and a couple other singles. I have other mixtapes, but they're on like SoundCloud and Bandcamp and shit. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
Shout out to that.
yeah, appreciate it.
Uh, so for the album that has
The Cold Black
the one
song.
that you released, yeah, the songs that's on there like Cold Black, Black Ice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I did listen to the album. Listen to your music out of your catalog out of 14 songs. I have about one, two, three, 7 songs out of 14 that stand out to me being the first time.
Oh,
And then I do have two bonus ones, the songs that you appear in, as well. So technically that would be 9 out of 16 if you count the songs that you appear on as well.
you broke up a little bit. I didn't hear that last part.
I said that would be 9 songs out of 16 if you count the songs that you appear on as well.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
I said that would be 9 out of 16 songs if you count the songs that you did a feature for.
9 out of 16 that stood out to you.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, shit, man. Hey, man. You know, a little more than half. I ain't mad for the first time. You know what I mean?
So, naming out the songs that stand out to me. Uh, Unlimited Void, Who I Am, Black Ice, War, Old Folks, Death God,
Okay.
Ride for My Brothers, and then the two songs you appear on Key and Speech and True Seekers or Seek Us.
Oh shit, man. Those most of my favorites anyway. Yo, okay, word. I'm glad you like them Jones, man. Yeah. I was always into boom bap, so you know I just try to go for that boom bap style. I never really put much thought into what style of music I make, so I just make I just like boom bap beats and I just rap.
Mm,
But definitely appreciate it, man. But yeah, I was real proud of that. The latest project I dropped. Um, just wanted it to be like a true representation of me musically as a grown man. Cause I got other mixtapes out, but like you know, I was a little younger, so like now I'm in my 30s and stuff. I wanted to drop like a grown ass man's hip hop album, basically. So,
okay. And starting with Unlimited Void, how that song's gonna be?
man, unlimited void. My man's salute my brother Blacksmith because he one of the best producers ever. He made a beat. And I was like, yo, just give me a beat. I'm just trying to make a song or something. He's like, yo, I got a beat I don't give a fuck about. So that's the beat he doesn't give a fuck about. So when he gave it to my bro, this shit is crack, bro. He's like, bro, I don't give a fuck about that beat. That's what he kept saying. I don't care about that beat. So when I wrote it and recorded it, I sent it to him. He was like, man, I like that shit. And he's like, yeah, that shit fire, right? Like, yeah, but like, bro, I hate that beat, bro. Like, he didn't fuck with the, like, he fucked with it because, you know, now he hear my verse on it, but he didn't care for that beat. But like, and I was really into Jujutsu Kaisen at the time. So my son, he always saying domain expansion. So I was like, oh, this is like my domain, my unlimited void. So that when it became like unlimited void and shit. So
That's dope.
yeah, so that was the song. So like, yeah, I love that song. That's my favorite song in the album. I love that shit. It's my favorite song.
That's your favorite song on the album?
Yeah, that's my favorite song. That and the last one, I like the hook to it. But yeah, Unlimited Void is like, that was like, if there's like a lead single to the song, it would be Unlimited Void.
Okay. And do you do any behind the scenes?
In terms of like writing for others?
As in turn like showcasing what it takes for you to be an artist?
Uh, as far as rapping, you know, not really. Like it's not really like a complicated process for me. A lot of the times I just found out ways to do it at home. Like I just got a basic setup at home, got a mic, a little pop filter. I write fast, so like I never felt the purpose of me spending money to go to the studio for $50 an hour when I write in 5 minutes and record in 10. So like it don't take me long to write verses, so like I write verses pretty fast. So I'll be finished with like 2-3 songs that day, just recording them. I don't mix and master, so like just recording them, I'll be done with 3 songs that day. You know, still be able to go about my day. So I just never. It's never been a complicated process for me. That's actually why people like working with me, because like that shit get done that day. Like I'll be done that day. Like I don't take forever to write verses. I always hated people coming to the studio just want to hang around and kick it and shit. Like we're not here to be friends, bro. Like just like write your raps. You know, like this. You want it to be your job, but it take you an hour a day to write a verse. You know, so I train myself. That shit. If you give me a beat in about 20 minutes, 2 verses and a hook is written. Like we're not, you know. So
Shout out to you.
I appreciate it.
So, out of your experience so far, what's your most challenging song out of your catalog?
The most challenging? The song that was hardest for me, it was a song I did a while ago. Well, really Old Folk. Yeah, Old Folk's a remake of that song. Old Folk took a while because like I had to rap like 2 different people. So it was weird. Like I had to write a verse. I had to write a line and then write a line challenging that line and then write a line like I'm arguing with myself. It's like I've never battled myself on a track. So Old Folk was weird. Like I was trying to be a young dude arguing with an old dude. And it was like I had to get outside myself to be the old dude, but then the young dude was a hyper exaggerated version of myself. It was really, it wasn't hard in terms of like, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It was hard of like, how do I do this in a way that still flows? Like I can still be on beat and I don't want to take out anything. I don't want to shortchange the message of the song just for fluidity. That was the only thing, but I think that probably took me a few days to get right. Yeah, I think that's it.
Shout out to that song.
Yeah, man, appreciate
it. No problem. And I'm curious, have you gotten a chance to perform live?
Yeah, I used to perform a lot, man. Not lately, cause you know I wanted to build up a catalog. When I was younger, I used to do like open mics all up and down Savannah, Charlotte, North Carolina. I did a song before in Savannah, when the Muse House before it closed. It was about 200 people that motherfucker had them singing one of my songs. I love performing for real. Just I wanted to build up my catalog before I start performing live and going out here really performing again. Build up a nice catalog of music. Like build up some songs for a wide variety of different settings. Like, you know what I mean? Because in Savannah, a lot of this album wouldn't really be flying over there because they like shit that's more, you know, relaxing. And they there for a vibe. Like, and I'm hitting you with hard punchlines and politics and shit. They don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to hear that. So, like, I want to have enough where I can go anywhere and kind of just have a blast. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna step outside again, man. I'm just chilling. I'm in a cave right now. That's why. That's why I've been in the back. I've been in the back cave. Just
Okay. I would definitely say that I'm looking forward to it. Like even with like the behind the scenes of like, even when you talk about the experience that you had with your brother, that was producing the beat, even just hearing the things like that, like, yo, there's a chance that we could have never heard this song. Imagine if he did like the beat and gave it to someone else, like, what would we have gotten, Unlimited Void. So, hearing stuff like that, it's just like, oh shit.
yeah,
To
like
me, that's like, just hearing possibilities of butterfly effects that
nah,
could have, or,
that's real. It could have been another beat. It may not have been the same because I argue, things work out how they
hmm
supposed to. That's how I always say.
hmm
You never know. But I've always lived when it comes to art. You can't be scared to take that chance. Every chance isn't gonna be something that hurts you. It's just time, and you waste time doing other shit. Don't chasing your dreams isn't a waste of time. It's an investment. You're investing your time. So
I agree.
yeah.
So, shout out to stuff like that. And I'm curious, what songs out of your catalog do you get a chance to perform?
Nothing out of this new catalog. My old catalog, if you go to Bandcamp, I performed a lot of the songs from Ass Kicking Music Volume 2. Because Volume 2, when I was running around in the open mic scenes, I was performing a lot of those songs. So matter of fact, every one of those songs I performed. Every last one of them I performed. King's Speech I performed all over the place. I was performing that everywhere. King's Speech, I think I performed uh Deaf Talks. Yeah, Deaf Talks from Ass Kicking Music Volume 2. So if you ever got a SoundCloud or Bandcamp, you can hear the other volumes. Just look up Out of Deaf Dealer. But yeah, but those use other people's beats. So that's why I don't really promote those because it'd be over like Jay-Z and DMX beats and shit. Like I can't put that on streaming site.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why this is the first mixtape that I can really be
Talk
outside
your
with.
shit.
So I'm really just
Okay.
really that's why I'm pushing it like that. But yeah, I used to perform all the time. Just now I'm trying to perform, my own my own music.
Okay. Another thing I will offer you as well, what we're doing now, those that subscribe to our podcast, which is $10 a month. However, we would give you our platform to promote. So if you would like to use that opportunity to promote your songs, try it out,
Yeah.
test it out, on the platform, you're welcome to use our platform for that.
Hey man, it's
Uh,
always good to break bread. I don't mind that at
hey,
all.
hey, um, uh, I want to talk to you more after this show.
Yeah.
But uh, think of it as like the Tiny Desk, but it's
Yeah.
like you recording your solo performance.
I fuck with that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, all right. You might have to talk about some shit like that. Yeah. You might have to talk about something
Okay,
like that.
okay, all right, bet. Um, Give us some opportunity for you to promote your music for the rest of the time. Are we good on time?
Oh yeah, man.
Nope.
Yeah, we
Okay,
good, bro.
bet. Next song, Who I Am. Tell us about it.
Yeah, who I am. Salute to my man Eddie Cipher from Light Life. Salute to the bros. Basically, who I am was just my way of just saying a song of who I am. Like this is who I am. Like this is if you ever wanted to know who I was or how I think the way I do. And I don't really like doing songs like that for real. Like I was never a fan of like I'm gonna have a song where I just cry about my past and shit. I've always hated that type of rapper where like every song he's crying about what he go through. Like I'm not Rod Wave and shit. Like Rod Wave, he be crying on every other song. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I'm here for the bars. I'm here for you to rap. So, but who I am is like the closest I ever get to like I really, this is who I am. But even then, it was like, bro, I just don't. I don't believe in that shit. Like if I was really I don't believe in getting on songs and just, oh, my life was so sad.
Mm.
I don't care for that. So, but that was the closest I get to like, yeah, this is, you know, what I'm, this is who I am when I go through shit. Like this is who I am. Like I'm basically like this because of pressure. So
So is it a reason that you're not so attached to it? Like for example, like you're like I'm already dealing with my own fucking problems, or are you in a good space that you know that type
yeah,
of music is not for you?
yeah, it's because it's more so because I'm in a good space.
Okay.
When I was in a bad space, I made a lot more music where I was just more aggressive and more angry and shit like that. So maybe stuff like that will resonate with me when I was younger. But I'm in a way better mental space, so I don't really go on songs like, yo, it's just so hard for me. I'm not there. So like I fuck with
Mm.
who I am, but who I am came with me being in a better space. So it's like, yeah, I went through some shit, but this is who I am. Like I'm you know what I mean? Like we here to we're here to move forward. We're not here to wallow, and you know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's what that made. But like I've never been somebody who does that even when I went through something. Like, you know, if I'll have bars that tease on it, but I'll rather say it creatively than just say it. Like
Okay.
I'd rather like set up a scheme, a metaphor where the overall theme should say, "Hey, this nigga's depressed," but the bars is fire. So you kind of be like, "Oh, that bar,
Mm.
he's cooking," but
Mm.
he's sad as hell. you
Did
know?
you say he was gonna drown himself? But that bar was fire though.
Yeah, like damn, bro, he's sad as hell. He's cooking right now. That's what I always wanted. Like I always wanted to be cooking. Like if you care for the content's there. But I always wanted the bars to be there because I like bars. Like so,
I respect that.
yeah.
Cold Black.
Yeah,
That's
Cold
hard.
Black was like, I think this overall project was way more political than it ever was. Um, just because like I'm real political in a sense. Like I have a real political side. So like Cold Black was kind of like it was always arguing with people about, yo, well, we got this in us, so that makes us partially black. Or it was always these weird ass arguments. So, and if you're in the animation, they used to code characters black. Like a character who's not black, but they're coded to be black with their dialogue or how they move or carry themselves with certain features. Like
Mm.
everybody in this cartoon yellow, but that purple person got an accent and he wears clothes a certain way. So he ain't black, but they're coding him black. So the song Cold Black,
Technically, he's colored.
like he's colored, but you know what I mean? The slick way they'll do it, like, like everyone think Piccolo black.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. Like he's not black, but
Mm.
it's like, and I don't even think he's coded black. It's just some people they'll have a character that's ambiguous like that and code them a certain way. So when I did the song, it was like, yo, people do that shit. People be like in between and like they'll code themselves black, but they're not.
Mm.
And so Cold Black was just like, like it to the benefit of certain people, and then it's not like I'm saying it in the sense of like, oh, if you're not black or anything else. It's just there are people who code themselves black for the benefits of
Mm.
blackness, but also for the benefits of not being black at the same time. So
So in that sense, it's typically, from my understanding, is like for example, like seeing like characters like Piccolo get a shine, on like something mainstream on your television and everything, compared to like getting an actual like black anime character to shine and be on the big screen.
or even look at it like this, like Oob is black.
That's it.
So but we don't get Oob, we get Piccolo.
Mm.
But Oob
Or
is black. It's
or
like,
better yet, we get ooh, but then the season ends.
you feel me? So it's like you get him, but it's like, okay, but then you'll have a character that we have to code black just to say we got something.
Mm.
So that's why like Cold Black was probably Cold Black was that in a nutshell. It was just like, you know, you know, just that. Like you got people who they don't like us but want to be coded like us. so they can get
Mm.
the they want to be in our space and whatnot, but they really don't like us like that. So that was Cold Black
Okay.
as a song.
All right. I see. Black Ice.
I told my man I wanted like a J. Cole sounding beat. That just being 1,000. So y'all want some J. Cole shit. And he was like, yo. So he made the beat first and he was like, yo, I'm about to make this BPM. And he played a J. Cole verse over the beat. I'm dog slick with it. He was like, yo, now you should be able to out rap this. I know my man's gonna out rap this. So I was like, bet. So I start rapping. Now I'm not saying I out rap J. Cole or anything. It was a verse. I think J. Cole's fire as
Mm.
hell. But I'm saying that for what I do, just bar wise, I just wanted like a more mellow type of beat to do it. And I felt like I did pretty good on Black Ice. For the most part. I like Black Ice. That was one of my favorite just rapping. Just no clear direction. I just want give me a nice beat on the rap. Like I don't want to talk about shit. Like because Cold Black is heavy as hell. So like I needed something that's just like just a blank slate. Let's just rap. So that was a Black Ice. But I love that beat. One of my favorite beats on the album.
Okay. And since you are a battle rapper, I'm curious. When it comes to like diss tracks, do you have a favorite?
Like as far as disses,
Yeah. Yeah, from like artists dissing another artist. Do you have a favorite diss track that you heard?
um, damn, man, shit, there's a few. Let me think. My favorite John is a subliminal diss to it was on an X song, Used to Be My Dog, and that Jadakiss and Styles P. And Styles P entire verse sounds like he is ripping somebody apart. And now that I know it, it's somebody that hung around DMX. I don't know who it is for sure, but every line in there was just disgusting. It's
Mm.
like I was like, bro, like I was hearing them like, bro, I ain't battle rap yet, but like, man, whoever the fuck he talking about. Oh, like Styles P used to be my dog. We like, yo, X, stop fucking with him. They ain't your dogs. Better treat it like some cats and shake their ass to the floor. Bitch, like that's the whole song. Or just like, who are these whole ass motherfuckers around you? No, I think out of disses, I
That's
think
cold.
JD. My fault. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I think as far as disses, I think just that and 50 Cent How to Rob. I think that's the iconic diss song.
Mm.
Say that because the slip was fun. It was comical. Like, he was robbing everybody. He was R&B singers, rap stars, motherfuckers hosting TV shows. He robbing everybody in that song.
Whose diss track inspired you to like, like, ooh, if that was me, I would have a nice right hook to come right back with a pin.
I don't know. A lot of the diss songs I like are like from gods. Like Cannabis did second round KO. I don't think there was not much you could really do to that, but just let him have that. You got to let him
Mm.
have that. Um, who else? The Jay Z song that I felt like a Jay Z song when he did the song against Nas, Super Ugly.
Mm.
Now, Super Ugly to me is underrated as hell to this song. He really was flaming Nas, but Ether is Ether. Ain't no getting around Ether. But
Mm.
I felt like if I had got Super Ugly, I'd have clipped Jay Z. I'd have clipped his ass. Again, I'm not one of those Jay Z haters. I think he was a nice ass rapper back in the day. So it's not like I'm saying that like I'd have just walked through Jay Z either. But that's how I felt when I heard Super Ugly.
Okay. You feel like you could give him a run for his money.
OJ, I don't know. I think I wouldn't have looked too crazy.
Mm.
I may not look too crazy because, like, again, he was really rapping back then. Like, Jay Z was nice as hell rapping. Like, but I'm an East Coast hip hop head, so like, I'm more biased to it too. But nah, I think I may not have won, but I think I probably would have fared better against Super Ugly versus Ether.
Okay. Okay. That's understandable.
Yeah, Ether ain't
Um.
nobody was beating Ether. He was shit.
I agree. I agree. Uh. Next. Time's up.
Time's Up. Time's Up was more following Cold Black because I recorded them around the same time, and I think the beat gave me like some real like Super Nintendo arcade vibes and shit. So that's why I really like the first half of the verse I was referencing things of like coding and algorithm programmed to die and shit like that. Like it gave me like a real Tron um like vibe to the beat. But other than that, it was still another political joint. Like I wanted to start tapping into that more because this was the first time I ever really did a project where I was leaning heavy into my political ideology more so. So yeah, Time's Up. Time's Up pretty simple. I wrote Cold Black. I did Cold Black. I said, all right, boy, I'm in a political bag, so I did this right behind it.
I can see that. And for Black Ice, I think that might be my favorite out of the album. I could definitely see myself having that replay.
Hey, I like Black Guys, but going forward though, I did way less political because like I generally just like rapping. Like I don't really be caring to like this song is for the kids and some, you know what I mean, some random country somewhere. Like I just want to have bars. That's you want to have bars
Mm,
sometimes. I like to speak on things that are happening because I feel like you have a responsibility of people listening to you to at least what I mean speak out for people who may be going through some shit. In my opinion, I don't hold that to
mm.
everybody, but yeah, man, definitely next little project. If you like Black Ice, you definitely gonna enjoy these other ones that coming out because it just getting
I
some
see
traction.
potential in you.
Yeah,
That's not a question. As soon as I saw your comic book and then I found out that you did music and I check out your stuff, I was like, oh, this motherfucker got potential.
yeah,
So I think you definitely got it. Especially uh advertising your work like overseas, start getting some global audience. Um,
yeah. Again, I've been doing a little something. My man, my bro, he
mm,
did the Otaku album. He went to Japan to play it, so it's been a little.
oh shit.
Yeah, it's been
Listen, listen, listen. Let's. Oh no, go ahead. You just
yeah.
inspired, but go ahead.
Yeah, if you go on the Spotify, one of the songs I did Berserk on his album, um, yeah, he went to Japan and played that. Like,
Okay.
yeah, he went to Japan and played the album. He performed it. Went to UK and so it's
Oh
through my
shit.
brother traveling. I did some connection, but like not just me. And
No, no,
yeah,
that's
so
smart. Everybody got a role to play. I believe I got a tribal mindset,
right,
so I believe everybody got a role to play. Which y'all already got a formula that's cooking. Especially, for example, like Wu Tang. When we think about it now, especially in Asian culture, Wu Tang was a legacy,
yeah,
like within the Asian culture. There's not a new, not necessarily they got to be a new staple of the Wu Tang. However, just like if Hollywood would not be here, there would have to be another staple to to take up that position. So
right.
who's going to be the next group for them to to fall in love with and everything. Who's because there's not a new
I
face.
agree. No, I definitely agree. And I think also the reason why I wanted to start tapping him on international base because I noticed internationally they appreciate the the lyricism a little more, just because
Mm,
they appreciate what I do for real. So I'm like, shit, I want people to like what I do. I don't like what I like to do be lyrical. You know what I mean? So I want people who appreciate what I do. But of course, I want the love of the states. I'm from here. You know what I mean?
mm,
But hey, I want an audience of people who just love what I do first.
right.
And
Take that same mindset that you have when you have like from different like cities. Some of them is going to be wanting some chill vibe. Some of them, is more into politics or etc. It's the same thing with countries. So, for example, like overseas, I happen to notice they more engaging with the talent itself than anything outside of that because they're not part of this culture. United
Right.
States is the only one that's going to question you about shit outside your creativity. Yeah, yeah, you're an artist and all, but who's your mother? Like, why the fuck are you?
But who's your mother? But yeah, because we have a more parasocial relationship with celebrities here than someone overseas. They don't
mm,
know us at all.
hmm
We're just an artist.
So I always tell, especially if you are an artist, a content creator, etc., and you feel that you are underappreciated, you might not be wrong because we live in a very selfish culture. So I would recommend to advertise yourself to, outside, your United States to see can you find appreciation for your art. Especially as an independent, I'm guessing you're independent, right?
Yeah. I'm independent.
It if you are independent and your goal is to stay independent, you want that global audience. So you might as well build it up
Yeah.
while you also it's killing two birds with one stone.
Nah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying at all.
Mm-hmm.
I know you ain't lying. My brother was saying that same shit. Blacksmith, he was saying all the time, like, bro, I'm going overseas, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep going overseas, do the music. Like, I'm not gonna stay
Yeah,
over here if you're not fucking with me. Makes no sense.
real shit.
Like,
And and oh my bad, go ahead. I'm gonna
no,
let you
you
talk.
good, you good. You know, we politicking, you good.
And to add on to that, even looking at our structure, we don't support our local artists. Like for example, like even something simple as utensils. Our shit get made in a whole different country. We literally don't support anything home based. We automatically go to outsource.
Nah,
So,
facts.
it is very fucked up. So, unless we got platforms like this or, people with the same mindset as the community, it's it is very weird how we are, raised to invest in our work.
Yeah.
Um,
We don't really value artists in our society for real.
but yet we consume
hmm Like we love the art, but not the person who makes it. We don't care about that.
it.
Like we do. It's not even that we don't care about them, but we gonna make sure they get paid good. Like no, fuck them.
Mm,
Like like give us more art, but f you. It's like how do you like AI art? I had to argue with people all the time for AI art because if you know how AI art is made, they use a database of stolen
mm,
art and demorphize it using their algorithm to break it down, and then they reconfigure, the zeros and ones into whatever your prompt
mm,
tells it to, but it uses that art as a base. So you literally taking other people's shit and turning it into something else.
mm.
And
And even oh, go ahead.
no, my fault. Go ahead.
No, I keep cutting you off. Go ahead, finish that.
Yeah, just make it short. But yeah, and the thing that is disturbing is that you know these people do it. Like I got homies who was doing it. They're getting AI art and whatnot, and they're like, "Yo, bro, I'll buy some art, but I'm gonna do AI art." And it's like, bro, I understand you don't know how they use the art, so to someone who doesn't draw, it's just convenient. But to an artist,
Mm.
it's like, damn, bro, like you getting art made and you spending money to get an app to get digital art. You could have paid me that money. I gave you the same quality drawing.
With like for example, another thing people don't think about too. One, this is still a battle. So the art that you're using right now, one day this could get hit with a copyright. If they lose the battle of like ownership, so everything that you build your platform with, one day that could be taken away from you. Uh, and then two, as well, this also shows how greedy, because at the end of the day, you still need us. If we're not out here creating art, there's nothing for you to take. So, and you're so greedy that you want us to make this art while you take from us. Like even with people that collect data. Like when I was hearing, I think it was Facebook. Was it Facebook? I think it was Facebook. They sold random like DMs or something for like $1 million. I'm like, yo, you telling me you was able to make money off of random ass conversation? Supposedly random. I'm just assuming that it was
Right.
random conversations.
I
So
mean,
if you're able to sell that much for just random conversations, I'm just like, yo, how much y'all really making just from us just y'all just collecting data and shit.
Probably billions of dollars when you think about it, because how many people post their artwork, their music all over the internet trying to promote it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I
That's
knew
why.
something was crazy. I was doing reels, and I was getting like thousands of views at one time. And then it went
Mm-hmm.
down. I started getting 4 or 5. I'm like, did y'all get what y'all need from me and leave me to my device?
Mm-hmm. No, real shit. Especially like even with like for example, like on certain platforms such as YouTube, there's certain if you look in the rule books, they will have something like you're not allowed to download or collect data on our platform. But they will have some some outsourced company that will purposely go out of the way to download random videos to feed their AI. So just seeing stuff like that, I'm like, yo, they really attacking creativity. Um, and there's always a rule or a step around the rules that you can get over. So they set a rule in place, we follow through it. But when a shady company is doing it, they're like, that don't seem too bad. Uh, like even with the AI, like I'm not even allowed to share music on platforms. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Without having the permission from the artist. But like the platform itself, like if I wanted to like just share music that I'm fucking with, like in my stream or something, I get hit with a copyright real quick. But it's cool for AI to download my video and purposely put out the message like, hey, we collected data to steal your shit and reshape it up half-ass, throw some CGI in the mix, and then like, boom, this is original content. This is legal.
Yeah.
Same thing with like AI music.
Yeah. The AI music thing's insane because, again, someone has to like people, like I was arguing with somebody because they got mad at me when I said, like, I don't believe in any AI generated procedural content because it's, and then in the day it took from someone else.
I agree.
Like, it took from someone else, so I can't. It's like he was getting mad at me because I'm like, bro, like, look at this music you got. Every bar here is a bar from someone else, and so many bars aren't even making sense because it's procedurally generated. Like, it's, what I mean, like, I'm listening to the raps, but like, it's hard to make some good verses when you're trying to fuse together 9 to 10 different verses into one abomination of a song. Hold on. Hold on. Can you hear me?